Okay, a very big Thursday evening to you. Welcome to the Situation Room, live on Milan 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. Before I go on, I want to first off apologize for not being able to bring the show yesterday. We're supposed to have a special edition of the program that was supposed to have 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗪𝗏 𝗪𝗏 Sandra and myself, and speak to a couple of lawyers around who were thinking that the tribunal was going to, wrap up before 4 p.m. I mean, it ended up moving as far as I think 10:25 p.m. Yesterday. So, of course, we couldn't break the transmission because Milan FM was with you from 10 a.m. to late into the night. I think we had to take a quick break yesterday to run sport cruise by 6 p.m. and of course we had to return to the tribunal coverage again. So I want to apologize for that. For the next couple of days, when the conversation touches the tribunal judgment yesterday, I would certainly touch one or two things. But on the show today, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi and I would certainly focus more on that. And what is next for the opposition? Both the PDP and the Labour Party have actually rejected the outcome of the presidential election petition tribunal yesterday, and then they said they would, go to the next level. Of course, the Constitution allows you to take it as far as you can go, as far as you feel aggrieved with the outcome of the election, and then you want to challenge it as well. Well, they said they would go to the Supreme Court. Let's see how far they would go with that. That's the Labour Party and, of course, the People's Democratic Party rejecting the court's judgment yesterday. They put out a statement and, day before yesterday, that was on Tuesday, it was 100 days of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's presidency. And a lot of people had brought up a different scorecard, and most of it had actually been centered around the removal of the subsidy. It was made official on the 29th of May when the president announced the official removal of the subsidy. And of course, there's been some, intervention programs by the government. The palliatives handed down to the state governors in monies. Of course, they said it's part loan, part grant. However, we should look at is some of the foodstuff and also a couple of other schemes that are targeted at the farmers in terms of subsidizing the fertilizer project and all of that. So you've also looked at the constant fear that almost on daily basis you hear rumors that today this could go up, tomorrow price of petrol could go up, started up from 489 to 516. I mean, it depends on what part of the country you stay, but you ask yourself again, for a government and administration that at least as it is now, based on the judgment of yesterday, pending when, would also wait for the result of the Supreme Court ruling that both APC and both the PDP and the Labour Party have said they would go to. It means that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would spend 1,461 days in office as president for his first term of 4 years. And he has spent just 102 as at today. And so, I've always asked, what exactly is the reason for the tradition behind the whole 100-day celebration? We see it even at the local government level, 100 days in office, we've done this, we've done that. I really don't care what you do in your first 100 days. I'm really interested in what you do at the end of your tenure. And that's a bigger scorecard. I think the only issues that Nigerians have always asked questions about are to be our budget performance every year, every other thing. Your mandate was 4 years, or is 4 years, and after 4 years, I would assess what you've done based on the campaign promises that you've made, and I think it's always a better or a more realistic, expectations from the people. Because I've asked, hey, if I happen to be the local government chairman and I get into office in 100 days, I'm not saying people shouldn't get the job done, especially with the president saying he's going to hit the ground running, he's going to get straight into doing it. But it took him over 70 days before he could present his cabinet, which is the list of his ministers, the whole screening process, eventually They got designated to their ministries, and some of the ministries don't even have ministers yet. The minister of youth is still, going back and forth about it. So that's the question. In a government that does not have a cabinet for the first like 80 days or thereabouts, yes, I think it took the president, I think the last day of the constitutional provision, yes, as amended. That's the 60 days law that was signed, bill that was passed into law by the former president, 𝗵𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗵𝗵 𝗪, that stipulates that governors and president must present their cabinet within the first 60 days in office. I think it was on the last day that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu eventually forwarded the list of 28 names. A couple of days later, another 19 names came up, and the whole controversy, some of the ministers were not cleared. Notably of them had to be the immediate past governor of Kaduna State, the former FCT minister, 𝗪𝗵𝘁𝘀𝗪 𝗪𝗴. There were a few issues also. The Kano candidate was also replaced. The Ministry of Youth and Sport Development was split into two. Now we have a Minister of Sports Development, but we don't have a Minister of Youth. The slots that was reserved for Kaduna State is still not being filled there. So, we have all of these issues in the first 100 days. So you keep asking, what exactly is the level of expectations of Nigerians for a government that would spend about 1,461 days? If you look at 100 days, is less than 7%. That's about 6.8% of the days it would spend. So is that a realistic demand? But then you also have to respect what Nigerians want. We want a government that will get into office. Sometimes we think our politicians are miracle workers. You don't blame us. You can't blame us. It's the level of expectations, especially when you find it difficult to sort out the thin line between propaganda and political campaigns. Some of the things we get to hear during the election are mere propaganda. So we'll do this, we'll do that. I think a couple of days ago, I saw one of the campaign poster of, I think, late Sir Tafawa Balewa, and a very replica of what I get to see on the street of Lagos or Abuja or Akwa Ibom these days. We'll do road, we'll do electric, and I'm like, we've had this problem for over 40 years. We are still dealing with it. I also remember when we were looking at the 30th year, I don't know if it's anniversary that we should call it now, of the June 12, 1993 election, and I remember we played some of the recordings of the campaigns of the late Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, and he was talking about he's going to unbundle the CBN is going to look at import, and I'm like, we've had a lot of these problems consistently over the last 30-40 years. So it's really easy for the politicians to come out and say, oh, I'm going to fix security, I'm going to build road, I'm going to do this and that. It's been the same thing over and over again. Sometimes you get to hear some of these speeches, and it's almost like they just pick it from somewhere, they just change the dates, change the names, and they give it to Nigerians like that. So that's why I'm always very careful when we use the word ideology in party line conversations in Nigeria. Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi is live with me in the studio already. He's the head of political desk of Guardian newspaper. He joins me every Thursday, and it's always really a tremendous feeling when we have the opportunity to tap into his wealth of experience in political reportage. I mean, he's been around for a very, very long time. Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, it's my pleasure to have you join us live in the Situation Room today again.
Good evening, Lagos. How are you?
I guess both of us are really been under the weather. I felt when I was talking to you over the phone earlier in the day, I knew that man, it's really been very stressful. For anybody that had followed this program since Monday, I've really, 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 really struggled to just keep it going. But as they always say, the show must go on. So you're welcome. So let's get straight up into it. It's a day before yesterday, on Tuesday, that's the 5th of September, I made it exactly 100 days that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was sworn in as the democratically elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, an election that was conducted on the 25th of February this year. And, a lot of people have this yardstick, these expectations like, oh, okay, this should be, what is on ground, this should have been achieved. It's also based on, let me say, on the backdrop of Mr. President's statement that he's going to hit the ground running. But then, is 100 days, enough? Or how realistic are those expectations? I understand Nigerians. It's almost like a tradition. We see government, at the state level doing it. Even at the local government level, you see them say, oh, first 100 days, we've done this, we've done that. How much of a needless tradition do you think that is, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi? Let's start from there.
Well, you call it needless tradition, but if you are to look at what is happening elsewhere, even in advanced democracies, they try to want to assess their new government within 100 days, just to show direction of its administration. So people will rather to know where to go, whether to go with him or to begin to think elsewhere. But for within 100 days, nobody is expecting them to have turned the country into El Dorado or to have changed perhaps what they consider not good enough for the country, or within 100 days to fulfill their campaign promises. But what everybody is expecting that when they say to hit the ground running is show the direction. Let's know where you are going. Let's begin to understand your policy trust. And Buhari was accused for not doing that. But you cannot accuse Tinubu for not doing that. Tinubu has shown Nigerians the direction he is going. First, in terms of economy, which has been his major focus as at now. I won't blame him for that. Because once you not get the economy of a country right, no other thing will go smoothly. But once you get the economy right, certainly you can continue to build other infrastructure on that. Tinubu has shown to all Nigerians without proving anybody, without making anybody doubting his intention, that he is going full capitalist. He has not put anybody in doubt that he is ready to take a very hard route where some of his predecessors perhaps
failed to dare.
Yes, failed to dare. He has not proved, he has not made anybody in doubt that he was not going the same route of borrowing money, even to fix roads and to pay salaries. He has made Nigerians to know that we have to go a long journey that might not be that smooth for economic recovery, but his ability to get through with various challenges that will come his way is another thing. But we all know that Nigerians have been postponing evil days for a long time when it comes to the issue of subsidy. As far back as early 90s, even late 80s, that the World Bank, IMF, and other international financial institutions have been saying that Nigeria cannot continue to subsidize oil downstream of the economy. Even at that time, we are subsidizing many things. We are saying it's not possible. That is, you have to just open up the economy. He has decided to go that within 100 days. Even from day one, he told Nigerians that he was removing subsidy. He has removed it. Himself, the governors, and all Nigerians, I think, are battling with the effect of it. So, by and large, Tinubu has shown us the way within 100 days, the route he wanted to take economically. Politically, it's too early because there's no politics now in the office. And when I'm talking of socially, well, I think the economy will determine that. But economically, and we can rightly say, but people will talk about it in terms of the minister, whatever. Well, for me, it's too early for me to begin to assess any minister now because none have done anything. Anybody can stand the line now. But when it comes to the real issues, addressing real issues and adding values to the ministry, we have not seen that one. And I agree that one is too early. But as far as the president is concerned, he has shown Nigeria the direction he is taking, especially economically. It's now left for Nigerians to accept it or to mount pressure on him to review it. But he has shown it.
Okay. I don't know if that is enough justification for the 100 days conversation, but I think it makes a lot more sense that way. Looking at it from a more open perspective, not particularly, narrowing it down. Because I've seen quite a lot of people put up, write-ups and say, well, in the first 100 days, prices have gone up in the first 100 days, petrol had gone up in the first, and I'm like, okay, Well, it's always very important, and I like the fact that Nigerians are beginning to more deliberately hold their public officers accountable. That's the most important thing. So let's talk about yesterday. To even start the conversation, I remember I spoke to Prince Valentine Adeyemi on Tuesday. He's a very like a veteran journalist. He's covered the judiciary for over 30 years, so he has seen quite a lot of build up and movement into presidential election petition tribunal rulings. And so I asked him, and I'm going to ask you the same question, Mr. Adeyemi. You've been around for a very long time, and had there ever been a time in our political history, whether pre-1999 or after then, that we've had so much, attention, let me use that word, going into a particular judgment as we had it this time around? There have been constant attack on the judiciary, the eye on the judiciary. There's been so much pressure to the point that we've seen pictures of the 5 judges on the panel, and we've seen even the Attorney General of the Federation being brought under heavy spotlight. There were rumors that after the election, he had a meeting with the president-elect, now this sitting president. And there's been so much on it, to the point that even the account details, the phone number, the resident address, the names of the siblings of all of these judges were put in a public space. Was there ever been a time we've been in this space? Or let me also put it that way, how did this affect or in any way the ruling of yesterday, Mr. Adeyemi?
Well, I think if you are to be critical about this moment, it's unfortunate that we have been this low. I think when it comes to, the way we take our judges and the way some people just attack them, well, it's normal that I think when you handle political matters, and nobody wants to lose the election, whether you have the fact or you don't have the fact. But you think because of people or few people around you voted for you, you must have it. So, but it's unfortunate that we have a set of people, just deliberately attacking the honorable justices, which is wrong. In any society, it's not done. In any society, it's not done. Even if you have any serious issue against them, the best thing is for you to present those matters in a civilized manner. I think some of these people raising allegations against all these judges, whether they have the same party for one party or the other, good, no problem about that one. But why can't you, any information you have, why can't you go and give to the lawyers, of that particular party you have sympathy for? Let them use all this as a part of the petition, maybe against any of the judges they think is not sound, or they don't have confidence in him to sit on this on the matter. But what we experienced in a couple of days, attacking all the judges is not decent. It's not done in any society. And I don't know how anybody would think that he can easily intimidate judges, at least to do whatever they think they will not do. But if it has any impact, all this kind of intimidation, harassment, and assault on some of the judges, if it has any effect, as far as I'm concerned, it made them to go extra mile, at least to point out loopholes in all the petitions. We can continue to imagine, why should all the 5 judges have to give judgment on each of the petitions? The coming to the same conclusion. It's simply because they want to satisfy the curiosity, the most of the allegations they also have been reading in the public. Because in normal circumstances, if you look at, I'm not a lawyer, let me quickly say this. I read political science, right? But if you look at all these matters, it could have been a consolidated judgment. In where what one have said, if your conclusion tally with your own, you say yes. Okay. So, it's okay, right? You don't have to go all this long route of each judge, 5 justices, delivering judgment and coming to the same conclusion on all the matters, right? But that's the impact of the attack. That is the impact of the allegations against them. That our point, let's make it clearly. I think, to anybody who can read to understand. And so that's only impact. But when it comes to affecting the judgment, it does not affect the judgment in any way, because judges are used to that. If you are a judge, there's no way you ask. There's no way you will tell somebody is a petition is frivolous, does not have merit, that you want him to have an handshake with you after expectations, after a lot of unguarded statement from the public court, right? So even if you were able to follow the judgment, Nigerians begin to ask, even these lawyers, if you begin to, what's the quality of these lawyers that dancing portables around? You understand? You begin to wonder the quality of, because even if you are, as not a lawyer, you will know certain things that are admissible in court and those things that will not be admissible in court, and they are packing issues that you don't think you should not. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe just will bamboozle. I know. Sorry, I wish some lawyers at least should call us on this phone. Lawyers know what they are doing. If a lawyer knows that I have a bad case, but they will go around some frivolities to still give you hope, even if the person is going to jail, instead of telling the gentleman, don't spend your money on this case because you end up in jail, right? You better keep this money for your family. And so when you are in jail,
they will have something to feed on.
But they have their way of collecting that money from you, giving you false sense of hope, and see you to gate, and they will still tell you. They will still tell you, and then they're going to appeal. But if you have money again, they go back. So we saw that one happen yesterday, and some of us, you know what? When the judgment was going on yesterday, I think in our own boardroom we had one of these politicians. He came visiting. And I said, well, let's just tap from your experience of what is going on. Now, I'm talking about around 2 o'clock. Around 1 o'clock when they've not come. The man just said that, well, he said, I want to quote him. The man said, the expectation, the judgment that comes from the court, most times, right, is annoying. But not surprising. Do you understand? So, to explain that is annoying because expectation of the people most times are not met, but it's not surprising to those who can read within the lines and know that this expectation is just being misplaced, right? You don't tell somebody that doesn't know anything about law. You don't know somebody that does not read newspapers to understand the nitty-gritty of any matter. You don't, and it's forming opinion, and it's coming to the public and bamboozling people, right? He does not understand what they are talking about. You understand? But you just see that somewhere, as a judge, the judges must do this, must consider this, must consider that, right? But without knowing that even those evidences are there as admissible in court, right? And you know this, anybody who has been going to court, that what some elementary lawyers should understand. But they are packing all these things as evidence, at least to go and bamboozle judges, as if those judges are not lawyers. So, but the point I'm making is that the judgment most times can be annoying, right? But they are not surprising. To some of us, we are not surprised because we followed it. Do you understand? We followed it, and this is not the first judgment we are following, right? And this is 1999. We have been following judiciary on all petitions. Do you understand? And we always know where they will all end to. And when they are starting arguing the matter and they are towing the line that will not give any result, you must know who have been following it. You don't have to be a lawyer. If you have been following these things since 1999. So it's annoying to some members of the public, but to those who know, without being and very dispassionate about issues, do you understand? It's not surprising. Let me tell you something. What is happening on the day of election and what is happening in the courtroom, they are two different things. Let me give you an instance the man gave us just yesterday. The man said, okay, now in your area you saw people fighting on the day of election. They carry ballot boxes. You took it with your phone, the photograph, the video, right? You say you want to show it in court, no problem. Do you understand? But the man has said that for court to admit it, the camera used to record it must be able to capture the time, the date, the location. Do you understand? And let's say voice to identify somebody there. Segun, what's happening here? So when you get to the court, that same Segun will show his face
Right? I said that was my voice.
That's my voice. Do you understand? And that Segun will come and then definitely and bear witness that I was at this event, I saw this happening and kind of thing. But just recorded something. So I can just say I saw people from printing. Do you understand? So I took their video shots. Who are they from? Where? Do you understand? Did that digital recorded and what can be trusted in the court? So another layer you can just say maybe this thing happened in Uganda in 1874. Then continue to argue. Those kind of issues that people that understand. Let me tell you something. Smart politicians do engage election consultants now, right? I think when some of us were talking about being election consultants, and so some people thought, why do you need an election consultant? You understand? But smart ones that do engage the service of election consultants will tell you that there are some things they start working from the day the day you have signified your intention
to challenge their result.
No, not to challenge. No, there are some pre-election matters. Do you understand? There are some pre-election matters that you cannot challenge after the election. So the day you say, if you're a serious-minded professional, let's say a politician, and you know what it is now, how complex the situation is now, immediately you signify of that you want to contest. You get some election consultants, not just lawyers, around you. And in these election consultants, they have lawyers among them, they have political analysts among them, they have a public analyst among them, they have people that can take they can take opinion. You understand? They know people that know the process from one process to the other, and they will study. And they have enough time also to study your opponents. So, and the election consultants will have told you all these things before election. Election consultant will have told you what your agent is supposed to do. At least as an evidence. Okay, yesterday they were saying that okay, you brought some of the witnesses, but we did not say one of your party agents. Do you understand? To come and defend what you are talking about. They couldn't because we were not prepared for it. Okay, for instance now, they were talking the Labour Party was talking of getting a result from our maison. Did they bring a maison to come and authenticate his result?
They brought a staff, and they said that one of the things the court said was that the employment letter was not stamped or certified by anyone.
Why can't they do that? Well, we just bring. So how would they show that? So can you bring a whatever from the place? So you are saying you are from a mainland FM now. Wouldn't that be enough sufficient proof? We don't bring someone that says it's a stamp or something. I could admit that. The lawyers know these things. You know what? One thing for the lawyers to let the innocent public know the truth. Another thing is just to cover their eyes. Do you understand? And you see some lawyers, they are rabble rousers. It's difficult for them to win a case. But when you see them speaking to the public, you think they know anything. They think they know something. But then go and see them in the court. And say how would they be panting?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi. Well, we've just looked at some of the issues as a fallout of the presidential election petition tribunal yesterday. All of the judges gave a unanimous decision, striking out the petition of the three parties that got into it: the APM, the Labour Party, and of course the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party.
Even they struck out the petition of APC
against Peter Obi, exactly. So let's while you were talking now, you talked about how the court of public opinion was really loud this time around, and now the PDP and the Labour Party have said they want to challenge the judgment yesterday. Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, we're all Nigerians. We move around, we read, we get to hear people talk, we have conversations with people on the streets, and then everybody seems to want to have a particular pattern that the judgment of yesterday should have followed. Now, all through yesterday, we've seen conversation about, democracy has died in Nigeria, there's a rape on democracy, the judges have sold out this and that, and now that the parties have said they want to challenge the result, how much of a challenge is this on one, INEC as the electoral body that organizes election in this country, Secondly, the judiciary itself. How much more do you think these organizers or these bodies need to do to restore the hope and confidence of Nigerians in them? Now we have 3 elections coming up this year. We have election in Imo State, we have election in Bayelsa, we have election in Kogi State, gubernatorial elections, and early next year there's going to be another gubernatorial election in Edo State as well. How much do you think the INEC and the judiciary needs to do to fix these doubts in their, their ability to deliver credible election and judgment as well?
The matter we are talking of restoring the hope of judiciary. It has always been what we have been saying ever since. And I think go and ask some people, they will tell you, those who won the election, as we are talking here, I think in Kogi State, this woman, very strong woman, I think that has been a thorn in the flesh of the governor. I think the tribunal yesterday, I think she's from PDP. The tribunal declared her the winner of the Kogi Central Senatorial, winner of the Kogi Central Senatorial District. And I see PDP in Kogi State saying the judiciary is remains the hope of the common man. They praise judiciary to the high heavens. That was in Kogi yesterday, PDP. But at the national level, I think they were saying that judiciary, I think, has disappointed Nigerians, and they are not agree with, I think, the judgment. What I'm saying is that once a party wins the election now, judiciary is the best. But once I think a party at least did not get the desired result, at least it tongue-lashed the judiciary. So that has always been the position. So if only yesterday in Kogi State, Kogi PDP were praising judiciary as the best to have happened because of the judgment they get in the Kogi Central
Senatorial District election.
Yes. So to them, judiciary was the best. They were singing praise of judiciary to high heaven yesterday in Kogi State, right? But at the national level, they were saying judiciary was the, was nothing, right? But that's the position, right? So that's why. But to some of us, the judges have to carry themselves, and judiciary have to at the same time speak out occasionally.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised reforms in the judiciary.
So I'm coming. Which reform are we talking about? What will he reform? That's what I'm saying. You know what? At times, I look at many things we talk about in Nigeria. They have the NBA just finished their conference. How many policies of this reform they sent to the government? You understand? The body of benchers, you do want to have their conference. You understand? Who was stopping them from implementing? You know, judiciary is an arm of government. They have their budget. Do you know what I'm saying? They have their budget. So what I'm saying that it's not the CJ, who's also a lawyer, do you understand, that was supposed to superintend over any reform we're talking about. Is it a politician that will reform the judiciary? No! They are the one that will reform the judiciary. That's the others. They have their own budget. They're not relying on the National Assembly to do it for them. Any areas they think they have issues, let them speak. Let them speak out. Let them speak out. But the point I'm making is that we have been used to that. Once a judiciary favors you, they are the best. But once they are not meeting expectation, they are the worst. Right? So go and look at the records. Go and look. You will see it. But that does not mean that they should not try. I think and the meet up, but not expectation of people. No. What is expectation of people? It's difficult to define. Which people? Who is setting that agenda? Is it because somebody, some politicians, because of their influence, at least are saying something, and the jury must do that line? No. But if you have any case, take it to them. Lawyers were trained. They know what is needed. They know how to win cases. Some of them have won cases, and some of them have lost cases. So there's nothing new to them. Lawyers know all these things. We should not stop. They should just stop disturbing Nigerians. It's unfortunate when lawyers know when they have errors in presenting certain facts. When they know they've committed some technical hackery, instead of admitting, they will now come into the public and try to dancing, I think, around the stage. No. But what I'm saying that judiciary has already been doing its job. If you get a knock from them today, good luck for you. If you get a kudos from them today, good luck for you. And that's my own position. But the truth again is that in Nigeria, you have never seen somebody losing a case. Okay, now let me put it to you. Let me frank yourself. Ask 𝗪𝗪 and the what call it, and Peter Obi, that Adeyemi the judges were right yesterday, who would have win the case between two of us. Ask them. Ask 𝗪𝗪. Ask what call it? Ask Peter Obi that okay, Adeyemi they are taking this case away from 𝗵𝗃. Who should they give among two of you? Between two of you, decide. So let them decide for us. They will not agree. 𝗪𝗪 will tell you at least I'm the national winner. Peter Obi also will tell you I'm the national winner. And will somebody now adjudicate and decide who's the winner? So, but whatever happens, they still have Supreme Court to go. No matter 13 or 14 hours judgment we got yesterday, they still have the Supreme Court to go. It's part of the democratic process, right? So let the Supreme Court look into all these matters again, where the judges I think have not done correctly well. Those areas they're supposed to take seriously, they refuse to take seriously. Those areas they should not look and they emphasize too much on those areas. So those some arguments they're supposed to look into and they maybe mistakenly struck out. The Supreme Court they are more experienced than justices in the Supreme Court are more experienced than those we have.
Tribunal.
I know, and the appeal. They are appeal. They're not just tribunal. It's an appeal. So they are the justices of appeal court. They are not justices of lower court. Do you know what I'm saying now? So these are judges. They are judges of the second layer, not first layer, not magistrate, right? So at the Supreme Court, so they are going to be 7, right? Let maybe 7 or 9. I think 7. Let them take their matters there. I think it's still within their democratic rights, and they have every reason, every right to do that. And I wish to, I urge them to do that, because with that one, we at least is an opportunity, at least to broaden our democratic knowledge, and for us to know those things we didn't know. So because by the time the Supreme Court judgment came out, there will be many pronouncements, that will strengthen electoral act. So I urge them to go to Supreme Court.
I'm actually surprised though that you're urging them to go to the Supreme Court.
Why not?
Especially from the position, on the case. Well, in case you're just tuning in, we're live on Mainland 98.3 FM. This program comes up on the airwaves every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5 p.m. And we just look at politics, we look at policies, we look at those things, decisions of the government that affect our daily existence as a people, especially, are those things that deepens the fiber of our democracy. Yesterday, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja gave a unanimous decision, to uphold the election of the, February 25th presidential election that brought in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, striking out the appeal of the Labour Party and the PDP and also the APM. And that's what we've looked at on the show today. I would open the conversation. You can join in. You can call us. We're streaming live on our social media platforms, facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM, and also on YouTube, mainland 98.3 on YouTube. You can actually watch us live, and you can call on 091-3600-0410. Mr. Muyiwa, in a minute or two. Now, what next for the APC? Now, we've seen the PDP saying they want to challenge the judgment of yesterday. And the Labour Party also said they want to challenge the judgment of yesterday, which had also said, it's still within their constitutional right, and it also help us to deepen, our democratic experiences. But for the APC now, that the tribunal is off, pending when the Supreme Court judgment would come up and all of that. What is next for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? He's in faraway India, by the way, attending the G20 summit, trying to, pull in investors in Nigeria. But beyond that, now that the distraction, in quotes, of the petition tribunal is off, what next for the APC?
I think is one thing is to win in court. Another thing is to battle the issue of, legitimacy. Right. No, I think in which some Nigerians are still doubting their democratic credentials, and it's going to be a big and tough matter vis-a-vis tough economic policies. I think the president chose at least to undertake. Before Supreme Court at least will come up with his justice and with his judgment to have a final decision on the matter. The President Tinubu is expected to a lot of pressing issues. Nigerians, things are hard, if not harder. Things are not as expected, and the government cannot fold its arms and say all is well when things are not well. There's no way you introduce this kind of policies and the kind of these sharply implemented palliatives, and we expect Nigerians to be happy. Those Nigerians will never be. The Nigerians are not happy. The only few Nigerians are just going around thinking that, well, let's take this route this time around. If they have been running away from it, and the people are saying that's the only way to gain our economic recovery, let's face it and let's see what happens. But it's going to be very, very disappointing and disheartening if Nigerians are tightening belts, are going through this hardship, and the business continues as usual in government, in terms of awarding contracts, in terms of abandoning contracts, in terms of inflation of contracts, in terms of leakages, in terms of siphoning public funds, and I think in terms of living ostentatious life, as we begin to notice, that is going to be painful. Now, if you're asking us to tighten our belt, let's see it. You have to start. You start from you. The ministers also should tighten their belts. I think there's one governor in Enugu State, Mba. I was told that all the commissioners appointed, they said, well, you continue to use your car. And what you are doing now, we cannot ready to buy any car for anybody.
Can't afford official.
Even I'm using my own cars as well. So you also, so you're a commissioner, you continue to use your cars. Do you understand? So if you can see, Mba, he's a very brilliant guy. No matter what anybody's talking about, guy. But if he can do that and cutting down the cost of governance, do you understand? And now, if you now ask us, at least to contacting a bet, and we begin to hear that you are buying four vehicles, right? One Land Cruiser, one Prado as a backup, two pickup jeeps for each of the maybe National Assembly officers there about. No, I think that is not reflecting the realities we want Nigerians to believe. So we expect him now to be more focused, especially in the area of getting utilities to work. NEPA has not really improved. So people are still buying petrol 4 liter, 5 liter a day to sell their groceries, bread at the junctions, which is unfortunate. People are, electricity has not improved. We are not expecting him to perform magic, but let him start the reorganization in those areas that will make that meaningful and impactful to the life of Nigerians. We asked about 2 or 3 months now for the matter to go in the Supreme Court or lesser. I'm not sure of the. But I know it has a deadline. It's not as it used to be in the olden days that would take 3 years. I know within a couple of months they should finish that one. But even with that one, if it has proved to us that he was not distracted, because if he was perturbed with what is happening, he won't travel to India. Maybe himself will have been in the court or stay glued to television in one area, maybe in around to Ikoyi, at least to come and be watching a television judgment. But he went to India, giving the impression that we're no cause for alarm. Right? Whatever give him the confidence, certainly we don't know. But the truth is that Nigerians are not feeling they are not feeling the government positively the way they thought they should feel it. So you should settle down to concentrate on governance.
Okay, thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. OT format is texting and it says, a great analysis by your guest. Awesome. The opposition divided themselves before, during, and after the election, and that actually worked to their detriment. Okay, I'll keep the calls coming in. Hello, good evening.
I'm sorry to you, Opeyemi.
Prince Wise, you're welcome
Thank
to the
you,
show.
my dear. Good evening to your guest in the studio, Mr. Adeyemi.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, God bless you all. You see, you spoke very well. And how my service today, from 9:30 to around 10 o'clock in the night, I listen attentively as if we were in the classroom yesterday. Those judges, in fact, they tell us what we don't know before. Some of us who don't, because when they give judgment, and they will not give the verdict and they pass the booklet to you to value. But they read every comprehensively. In fact, those yesterday, after reading this to Opeyemi, I was looking at myself that I'm better than some lawyer, but I don't have the certificate. Because what is some lawyer just bring one some of our election losers. That like they will take the matter to the court, and when you get there, going to win, and they have no case. Because look at Abuja, number one. Look at somebody who say I have 18,000 polling booth, and you have no representative. No agent to tender what you have given to him to this so that polling booth. Somebody just to gather information from 𝗪𝗵𝗁 and send that as evidence. So for me, let them go to our Supreme Court. Even though to Supreme Court they are going to now, for me as a layman, I'm free. I don't go going there, but going sick.
Thank you, Prince Wise.
And finally, I want the winner to not overjoy us, and I want the loser to take it as his sport. Get all of us all down hands together to rebuild Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much, Prince Wise. 09136000410. You can join the conversation. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Opeyemi.
You're welcome.
And as well, I greet our guest as well. My name is 𝗪𝗵𝗁. I'm calling from Kenya.
You're welcome.
Opeyemi, I have 3 cousins who are lawyers. So I won't ask anybody not to go to Supreme Court. If they don't go to Supreme Court, where will my cousins make money? So they should please go. They should please go. My advice for this government is
Mr. J. So this is about money for your cousins?
Yes, now. See, people who work in the hospital will always pray. You know, if you get me, Opeyemi, people who sell coffee want customers. You let my cousins make money as well. I think Nigeria will get better.
Thank you very much. 09136000410. Keep your calls and your messages coming in. I've been speaking with Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi for the past 45 minutes or thereabouts. The head of the political desk at Guardian newspaper. We've looked at some of the issues as the fallout of yesterday's petition tribunal judgment. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
You're live on Mainland 98.3 FM.
This is Mr. Patrick calling from Boost.
Mr. Patrick, you're welcome.
Yes, you see, one thing I discovered in this country is that INEC I discovered that INEC is a political party that has their own candidate. It's only their candidate that must win, whether you like it or not. It's a political party. Now, Abuja now is no more. It's no more 25%. Abuja now is a state. A state without local government, a state without a House of Assembly, a state without commissioners. Justice, in fact, everything is happening in this Nigeria. That's why Oyibo refused that 𝗪𝗵𝗁, they must judge him at London. If not, in Nigeria, it don't go free. It's a wonderful nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 09136000410. Keep your calls coming in. Let's have the conversation. Hello, Mr. Akinyode. You're welcome.
Thank you, Almighty God will bless you first. Yes, in fact, 100 million you can. You have already said it all. Let's say something. We can never get it right in this country, or we change our constitution. What happened is nothing bad for me. I'm not any political something. But if I wanted to follow someone, I want transparency, somebody that I trust, I want the person clean. If not 100% clean, 90 or 99 clean. Okay. The foundation of all this our politicians are laying down. It's so good. Our young generation are watching them. The way they are laying this is to, in fact, for me personally, I don't see any of my children go in fact do law anymore. But the way they are teaching something, changing. In fact, I think we don't know English everything. No wala. If they wanted to go to court, it's not my money. They can go to Supreme Court. But we are waiting for 2027. And this time around, Senate need to sit down and then do something. You know, my guest in there saying something. Say that if you have fun. I know a lot of my friends in 𝗪𝗵𝗁, when they do the recording, where they are both doing a lot of them, come and see the way police beat them tire. So now you know, the guest already said it all. The way politicians are doing things is that they know the way of come everything. That's why when they do the baru, do everything, they just go to court. And they have the perfect lawyer that is guiding them, giving them the clue about this thing. No problem. All of us will solve for it. But this time around, I don't believe in this government. Nothing they can do. They have already wasted our time for 8 years, and that's why yet nothing. Now, after this one finish, now they will say, give him another chance. They say, nah, nothing. They're just lying. I didn't already say it.
Thank you.
If politicians say something, go and look at it. They lie too much.
Thank you. Thank you.
To decide again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, down from 𝗪𝗏 is texting. Excuse me. And it says, one can see that this judgment is well scripted for the big boys and the elite, from the selection of the president to the court formula by the 𝗵𝗃 to the inauguration to the judgment. The lesson I learned from all of this is that if you can use vote buying and also use money to cover the tracks, you can win election in Nigeria. Like Jimmy Cliff said, they've taken the children's bread and given it to the dogs, and making the people suffer and make life so hard. How can there be peace without justice? Thank you very much, Adayo from 𝗪𝗏. I got a message. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
You're live on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Good evening, Opeyemi.
Your name, where are you calling from?
My name is Kenny from Mushin.
You're welcome, Kenny. Straight to the point.
Yesterday it was a unanimous decision, 5-0, unanimous decision. And honors lies on those who are led to prove. Obi and Atiku knew they did not win the election. Conscience is an open wound. Only the truth can heal it. They know Atiku lost the election before the election. Obi lost after the
okay. I'm really struggling. Okay.
And hello,
yeah.
He did not win anything in the north. He did not call anything. Northwest, northeast. Obi did not have any presence there. You cannot be president of Nigeria if you are one-sided. The framework of the constitution knows that you have to have a spread all over the country. Look at the judgment yesterday. 176,881 police units. You say you are going to use 50 witnesses. You end up using 13. Out of that 13, 10 were nullified.
Okay, I think we're really struggling. But of course, we've picked the much we can take from you. Let me talk to someone else. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Your name, where are you calling from?
This is 𝗪𝗏𝗪 𝗪𝗏 calling from 𝗪𝗏𝗪.
𝗪𝗏𝗪 𝗪𝗏 from 𝗪𝗏𝗪. You're welcome.
Oh yes, I think some people have to go and learn politics the way they play it, so that they won't end up losing every time. People just get unnecessarily emotional. Of course, you can use technicalities in law; it is permitted. But the one that baffles me, that means the ridiculous one, that means the Abuja 25%. Are you now trying to tell us that Abuja people, Abuja residents, pay double taxation, or they don't work with their legs, they work on their heads? Thank God, they will go to back to their drawing boards and learn how to file proper petitions. Have a great day.
Okay, and you too have a great day. And talking about having great days, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi, it's been a very interesting conversation on the show today. Maybe I can just allow you wrap it up in a minute. Now, there's been a lot of issues now as a fallout of this. Some members of the the Labour Party had come out to say that if the judgment stood, it would destroy the electoral acts in 2022. And also from the 𝗵𝗃, the governor of Kogi State paid a visit to the vice president yesterday, and he said that the opposition party should come together and support the 𝗵𝗃. Now, one of the critical part of our democracy anywhere in the world basically is the strength of the opposition. Beyond challenging the results in the Supreme Court, how much do we need the opposition to put this government on their toes? We've almost not seen them in the last few months of this government, Mr. Adeyemi. In a minute, let's wrap it up.
You know, I think somebody spoke there that Atiku has lost the election before the day. He made a good point there, right? You know, imagine Obi and Atiku came together to fight this election. What would have been the result? Do you understand? Imagine Obi, Atiku, and the 𝗪𝗪𝗁, right? Forming an alliance but their individual, let's say, interests, right, did not allow them to forgo, you understand, their personal interests for what have been the collective interests of all Nigerians. Some people didn't want APC to continue. But how would PDP that fragmented, the PDP had the election at its palm to win? But when you fragment yourself to the level that I can't understand, do you understand? And Peter Obi also issue, I think all the major opinion polls are conducted by credible human beings knows that the strength of Peter Obi was only in the south, and the election of once and which what call it which referee said, and they go and see the result, go and sum up all the results from the northeast and from the southwest and from the southeast, and what happened in Kano. We are talking of data here, we're talking of statistics, right? Go and look, even no matter what we're talking about, go there and look at it. So what I'm saying is that let the opposition come together to give this democracy a minute. When the opposition is strong, they will keep the ruling government on their toes, and the country will be better.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muyiwa. Adeyemi is the head of political desk of Guardian newspaper. This is about the size of the package on the show today. God willing, tomorrow I know we'll have a lot of conversation on these and more on the show. 4 p.m. we'll be back. My name is Opeyemi 𝗪𝗏. Keep your dialogue. The news headline will come through in a few seconds, and of course I will keep our other conversations going.